Welcome back to Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 24. We're finishing the show today. It's pretty crazy. I mean, this is just how anime works a lot of the time, is you'll have, like, a lot of finales in the same week or day because, you know, they start around the same time and end around the same time. But it is crazy to me when I, like, finish two shows in the same day. You know, I just sat down and watched Sound Euphonium's finale, and now I'm sitting down, but that was a series finale, you know, this is just going to be a season finale. But I'm sitting down now to watch Season 2's finale of Mushoku Tensei. It's just crazy, like, finishing so much stuff at once to me. But anyway, we're jumping into this. So last episode was a complicated one because I had very mixed feelings. And sometimes when people say mixed feelings, they mean negative feelings. I don't mean that. I mean... I mean, it was a complex enough situation that I do not have a hard line stance on it. But it was a, you know, complicated situation with a fusion of lack of communication and maybe overstepping boundaries, but also, you know, maybe doing what needed to be done to help someone through a difficult time. And I mean, I think a lot of it relies on what's going to happen this episode to see how I feel about it overall, because seemingly we're going to go back and talk to Sylphie in this episode, I would think, and that's really the big check for me, the big test, to see sort of how that goes. But I mean, like, overall, if I was to give, and I also want to point out, because people did point this out to me last episode, which I did know this. I didn't really take it into account as much as maybe I should have, but I did know this, that this world, you know, they mention in the episode that monogamy is only really a big thing under one religion, you know, like under that one particular religion, it's like, oh, have one wife, you know, but most of the world, it doesn't completely like frown upon it or whatever. Regardless, I think that's the thing you discuss before you sleep with a woman. just my thoughts on the situation. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. I'm still not 100% on board with it, but I understand where they're coming from and I understand why they're doing it. And so I'm curious going into this to see sort of how this whole situation is handled. If it's all good with Sylphie, like if she's 100% fine with it and like everything's fine, then what leg do I have to stand on, you know? Like at that point I should just be cool with it, because it's not up to me, it's up to the people actually getting affected by it. So let's jump into the episode and see. This is Season 2, Episode 24, the finale of Season 2. But thank you for joining me for this series if you have, and make sure after you watch it to go check out some of my other videos and some of my other series. Hopefully you'll find something you enjoy. If you like One Piece, I've got a brilliant channel called Gent Watches One Piece where I'm going through all of One Piece. I'm past episode 500 now, so there's a lot of good stuff to really sink your teeth into. But anyway, let's jump into this. Season 2, Episode 24. Okay, no intro today. That doesn't surprise me. I was gonna say, is it that he's now close? Oh god. Oh no. Oh shit. I feel like after all of that build up, she'll probably be okay. I don't know. Maybe they're out shopping. Oh, he's having a panic attack. Oh. Aisha's here? That makes sense. She's home. Oh, look at her. Her hair's nice. Oh, he's so nervous. Oh. He was so worried. She hasn't even asked about the hand yet. Wasn't as long as it could have been. Where's Paul? Oh, it's so sad. Man, they save it for Norn's reaction. Oh. Oh. Yeah. I said this before that I genuinely didn't. I think she didn't think he could fail. Oh. At least you know he went and tried. He gave it everything he had. Oh. Yes. That's a really mature way to consider it. I'm glad she doesn't seem to be blaming Rudy. She's just sad. Oh, that crying is really effective. Oh my god, she's gonna become Zoro. That's true. Good lesson to impart on her immediately. What's she doing? Does she have some memory of it? It's gonna be really hard to see. Aww. A good sister. What a good sister. Oh. Oh. Norn knew she wanted to do that. Oh my god. Oh wow, that got me. Oh. Yeah, I mean, don't let Rudy hold it alone. Correct. Be funny if she was like, Sylphie, did you know Rudy has slept with Roxy? Anyway, bye. We have to have another talk. Yep. Does she know? I think she's ready for it. From that look she gave Roxy. Do the sisters have to be in the room? Oh boy. Oh man. Jeez. Since Norn's angry, I think Sylphie won't be. She's the surrogate for anger in this household. But I agree with you, Norn, I think. Well, I don't think that part of it is true. No, she is. I think Roxy does share some blame. Normally in a scene like this, I wouldn't want them to be yelling at Roxy, but... They haven't shown Sylphie this whole time.
ここを去られるわけにはいかない。どうすればいい？どうすれば
Sylphie's gonna tell her to wait, I think. Yeah. Ultimately, it's her decision.
待ってください。
Oh.
ごめんね、ノルンちゃん。僕のために。でも大丈夫だから。
Sylphie's
ありがとう。
too fucking sweet.
ちょっと混乱してたけど、下心なしでって言われても逆に信じられないよ。僕は時間の問題だと思ってたんだ。ルディが別の女の人を連れてくるの。
Jesus, I knew he'd cheat on me eventually.
ほら、ルディってエッチでしょ。
Jesus, that's sad.
きっと誰かとしちゃうだろうな。俺の尊敬する魔術師はあの人だけだって。でも実際に見て、ルディが好きなだけの普通の女の子なんだって思ったら、嫉妬なんて消えちゃった。だって僕と一緒だもん。
Well, that's an interesting perspective.
僕は歓迎します。
Oh, all right. If that's how you feel, Sylphie,
ルディを支えていこう。
that's your choice. I'm glad Norn's in this. Because I think she has a right to be angry.
ノルンちゃん、京都じゃないんだから許してあげて。ノルンちゃん、リーリアさんにもそう言うの？
Hmm.
いいよ別に。ノルン姉がよく考えてるもの言ってるの知ってるから。何それ。
Very smart, Aisha.
ノルン姉が怒った。結婚するのをそれまで待つ必要なんてないよ。
Oh.
いえ、大きいので出産まで待たせてください。
Okay, that's
正
respectful,
式な
Roxy.
妻になるのはその後で。分かった。
I mean, it helps that these two are just very sweet women.
会いたいな。
I feel like this arrangement is going to work out well. Until one of them gets fucking slaughtered. Which I wouldn't put past this show.
おめでとうございます、シルフィエット様。
Ah.
よかった。ルディも抱いてあげて。ルディの子だよ。
Yes, she is. Did you guys pick out a name?
俺の子供。
Aww. Crazy that he lost a father 2 episodes before he became a father.
俺父親になったよ。
Yep.
名前はルーシーに決めた。
Lucy?
ルーシー・グレイラット。
That's a cute
俺とシルフィ
name.
の頭文字を妻にしたんだ。妻が2人。父さんと一緒だな。こういう時のここ。けど今はもうパウロ・グレイラットの息子のつもりだから。
Damn. Pretty late to feel like that, but
俺
that's
ようや
good.
く分かったよ。きっともっとたくさん失敗していっぱい悩みながら
I'm sure you will as
少しず
well.
つゆっくり変わっていかなきゃ。また来る。今度はみんなを連れて。
Aw, that'd be nice. It's quite a big family now. Felt like he was like patting him on the back.
大きな失敗も繰り返してしまった。
Oh,
け
Eris.
れど終わりじゃない。
I don't know if I want to see Eris again.
まだまだこの世界で生き
It
てい
would
く。
be complicated.
本気で。
Oh man. Well, that's nice to have a happy ending like that of the season. I was watching Succession? I thought I was watching Mushoku Tensei. Oh, that's cute. This is the season 3 announcement, I imagine. Yep.
異世界行ったら。
制作決定。
I saw this morning that there was a season 3 announcement. Well, that's that. That's Mushoku Tensei season 2 episode 24. My thoughts now are less complicated, I think. I needed to watch this episode to see how these characters react, to see where it all falls into place in the story. Now that it has, I think I've solidified my thoughts, and my thoughts are thusly. But also, these are like, even though I've solidified my thoughts, these are my opinions on the situation, but I don't really have any like frustrations or toxicity or anger towards, you know, any of the writing choices or any of these characters or any people in the the comments or readers of the original thing or whatever that might have different views on the situation. But my views on the situation now are, I think all of it is fine. The only little hitch I will say in there is I don't completely, like, if I was in this situation, I think I'd be more like Norn. I don't know if I would completely buy the Roxie sleeping with Rudy to help him thing. That whole part of it, I think, was still like morally wrong. But it's a difficult situation because also in this episode that was something that they apologized for. I think they were admitting that was a mistake and that was a bad thing. But it does also seem to like imply that it was, you know, it seems to imply it was like sort of an unfortunate but inevitable situation. Which is like, but I mean, again, you know, it's a situation where I don't think I can be too upset about it because ultimately it is up to Sylphie. She is the person who's like living that life, you know. I just feel like she needs to have a little bit higher standards. I think she shouldn't be so forgiving of Rudy. And I say this, I'm saying this actually from a point of actual like personal experience. I say this as someone who I have had a partner be unfaithful, and I was exceptionally forgiving about it. So much so that I just kind of said, that's upsetting, but I love you, and so whatever, you know, like it. And I look back on that moment in the future and I regret it. I feel like I should have been a bit more upset about it. I feel like I should have drawn a bit more of a harder line there, because I think it's not okay to do that to someone, but I was so in love and so caught up by the love that to me I was like, well, this isn't, you know, this is a thing that has happened and it sucks, but like, you know, I guess I'll have to move past it. I think I should have allowed myself to be more upset because I kind of felt guilty for feeling upset, and I think that was a big thing there. And so I think the story might be resonating a bit more with me because of that, I completely understand Sylphie and why she would respond to this situation like that. You know, I wouldn't say I'm not quite as smooth and kind-hearted as Sylphie is. I don't think I would have handled this situation quite as nicely, but I understand her. I think it's because of that, and because of the fact that I look back on it and kind of regret it. It's not a huge regret in my life. It's not like oh, if I did that, everything would have changed. I don't think even if I was more upset about it, I don't think anything would have changed. I think my life would be in the exact same spot it is right now. But I just feel like I was being unfair to myself in that situation, you know? And I feel ashamed about that. And I don't want Sylphie to go through that same feeling. Having several wives is not the issue here. That's fine. Because as I said, it's a Millis belief, and they're not necessarily followers of Millis, and you know, it's a situation that they are fine with, they're happy with. It seems like everyone in that situation is genuinely happy. So yeah, basically it's only one little link in the chain that I'm sad about, but I'm not mad that the show did it. I want that to be very clear. I don't think it's a wrong decision for the show. Because sometimes when people are like criticizing character decisions or whatever, they're saying like, oh, this is a reason the show is bad, or this is a mistake that the show made. No. I'm criticizing Rudy. I'm criticizing the character in the show. And what is Mushoku Tensei if not our complicated feelings about Rudy? That is the show. It is a show about this character who starts off pathetic and a scumbag and disgusting, and slowly progresses. Him making mistakes, him making the wrong decisions, and him doing things that are bad is part of the point of the show. He's improving slowly, and I'm someone who I truly do believe in change in people. And I think if you don't believe people can change, or if you're still like hung up on what people did in season 1 of this show or whatever, like early season 1 or whatever, then it's not really the show for you. Like, you probably shouldn't be watching it because you don't really subscribe to the core beliefs of the show, which is about change and growth. And I think if you watch the show, you have to allow yourself to be comfortable with watching a character that you think is shitty become better, and being okay with that and being comfortable with that. So that's what I like about the show. I like the fact that there is this sense of progression, this forward progression for this character. And I expect Rudy to make more mistakes in the future. I expect to have more situations where I'm watching what he's doing and thinking, I don't like that he's doing this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. But I want to also see how it comes through in the end, you know? I just wanted to make my feelings on the situation known because I think it's an important thing to talk about. And I mean, it's the sort of show that gets you to have those discussions and to have those thoughts about what really is important to you in a relationship, and what hard lines would you draw in a situation like this, and what would you be comfortable with. Like, is it fine for someone to cheat if it's a matter of their emotional state, you know? And that's a big question of this arc, because like, yeah, maybe there was no other way to pull him out of the despair, but I kind of don't believe that. I don't think I understand why they think that, but I don't believe that was the only way to pull Rudy out of that slump. I think it was the easiest way to do it. It was the way that was guaranteed to work, but I think it was a mistake. And so I'm saddened and upset with Roxy and Rudy. I think they made mistakes, but to their credit, they apologized for it in this situation. They had a adult discussion about it, a very adult discussion, where they let everyone in on the situation with no secrets. They were completely honest about it. If you're gonna make that mistake, they handled it past that mistake. They handled it as best I think they possibly could have. And so I have to commend them for that. I have to give them some props there. Anyway, I know. The episode was not just about that. The episode also was largely about Paul and his death, and how that affected everyone else, and how that affected their family dynamics, and how Rudy is becoming becoming more comfortable with the idea of being Paul's son, and understanding it more, and understanding Paul a lot more, and like the absence that Paul's death has left within their lives, but also the fact that Rudy has sort of become closer to Paul in such a way that maybe Rudy can fill that hole. I understand there are so many more themes in this episode that were going on, and I was purely still talking about that one aspect of it, but I think that one aspect of it was the bit that I wanted to dedicate the most time on, because it was complex enough. I didn't want my thoughts to be misrepresented. Anyway, the other stuff in the episode was really great. I loved, I mean, I loved it in a weird sort of sad way, where I really enjoyed the scene of Rudy telling Norn about the death. I mean, I like that they didn't show Rudy telling sylphie about the death, or even Aisha about it, you know. But they waited until Norn got there, and then they show him telling Norn. because she's the one that it's going to be most effective with, and I think you would have numbed the scene too much if you showed a bunch of reactions to it. Instead, you show all of the sadness through her reaction. But I really loved that she looked at the situation. Her instant reaction was anger, right? Like wanting to blame Rudy for it. But then she saw the loss of the hand, which, I mean, I honestly think him losing a hand is probably good for this situation. But she saw the loss of the hand, and then she went, oh shit, like, this wasn't just like him being lazy or whatever. He did everything he could, and it still turned out like this. And so I like that she said, like, then no one could have saved him. Like, it was just the sadness that rushed out of her, with an understanding of, like, this is how it had to be, and that makes me really upset. But there's no one that she can blame, and that's good. I really appreciate that situation. I also loved, and this was my favorite scene of the episode, that that Aisha, oh my god, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Aisha was genuinely so excited and relieved and comforted by the fact that her mother was home and safe and everything was okay with her. But she also was holding that back because she didn't want to spoil other people's sad moment with her happy moment, you know? Like, she was in this situation, and she was, of course, I'm sure she was sad about Paul, but it didn't affect her nearly as much, you know? But in that situation, her mother was home, and she was so excited and relieved that she was there. But she thought it would have been rude and upsetting while Aisha was grieving basically both of her parents, one who is, you know, functionally kind of like comatose, you know. She's not, but, you know, like her I guess she might have brain damage or whatever. Like, seeing that, she didn't want to, and also losing her father, she didn't want to go like, oh, but my mother's okay, yay, yippee, you know. But I love that Norn recognizes that, and recognizes that Aisha is like holding back and like just going like, okay, so are we gonna split the chores or whatever, like just just like, I think just trying to talk to her in any way possible. And then Norn says, like, it's okay, just be happy. And I really, really love that, because that's such a mature moment for Norn and for Aisha. Like, that's really great for both of them to have that emotional intelligence to understand that that's the situation that's happening there, and it just let Aisha, like, let it out. Man, those scenes are the ones that get me. They really, really get me. I love that. But yeah, man, if there's anything like that I really like in this show, it is that this show has a sense of progression. Like, the show, the character dynamics and the characters and where they go and their ages and their families, they change completely as the show goes on. And I think that's so brilliant that the show continues to change like this. So now we have a kid, you know, like the family dynamics, a kid and two wives. Like, we picked up two more members of the family at least. So yeah, it's just really cool how this show keeps moving forward, and it could go this show could continue. We could have like season 8 and Rudy might be a 60-year-old man, you know, and the show's just going on normally. Like, I wouldn't be that surprised about that, and I think that would actually be kind of cool. So I really like a show that does that has a proper progression, and it's not just like one part of his life. We're seeing his life, you know. It's brilliant. It's great. Anyway, I'm feeling much better about the situation after that episode. and they gave us quite a happy ending. So I enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reactions, as well as early access and exclusive videos for both this channel and my Gent Watches One Piece channel. But if this was the only series of mine you're watching, go check out some other series. See if there's anything else that you want to check out. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.